So in this video, I guess we're just going to go ahead and skip over to exercise category 4, exercises on inheritance. Um, as you can see, and the first exercise looks like super simple, like we've done before, but we'll just go ahead and do it to start things off. Let me just open my IDE. Um, as I said in my last video, starting now, and if I remember, I'm just going to complete the exercise and then show you guys and explain what I did rather than record myself while I'm doing it. Um, it'll be faster that way, I guess. But just first off, I'll just go ahead and create the package, which is the name of the exercise is an introduction to OOP inheritance by example. So I think we might just skip this one to be honest because it doesn't look like there's anything new in this that haven't done before. Um, do they not know that they already um, okay, so here there's no inheritance, okay. Says composition. So I wonder if I've been doing the previous exercises wrong. Um, I think have I been just doing them as like inheritance? I wonder. Either ways, I guess this is actually where they were introducing us to inheritance. I already know all about inheritance. They're teaching us method overriding and super, which we've already done before. Subclass person and its subclasses. So we can go ahead and do this one because it has. I mean, two classes are extending person, so I don't think we've done that before where we had two classes extending person. Which I mean, there's nothing complicated about that at all. It's just two different classes extending one class, but we can do that one. It looks fairly simple. Um, yeah, I guess we'll do exercise 4.2. Because I'm just trying to skip the exercises where we're actually learning something different. But yeah, so let me just write this down here. Superclass underscore. Sorry about that. There we go. Superclass underscore person and its subclasses. So yeah, I'll just pause the video here. I'll just write the program and then I explain everything after. So it didn't take long to finish this at all because it's just super simple. Let's see here. So basically, they asked for. Let me just maximize this on my end. a person class, and then the student and staff class extend the person class. So when you see in a hollow arrow with the straight full lines, then it's just extending. So it's inheritance. You can see up here, the student class, we have the keyword extends here. So the class student extends the person class. So it's a subclass of the superclass, right? Same thing with the staff class. And then we just have some simple instance variables here. They are not initialized. Um, and here we have, they're initialized here because the values are passed to it. We have the super keyword, which just, if I remember correctly, it calls the constructor of the parent class. Um, and then, yeah, uh, so basically, if I'm correct, then an instance of student can't exist without an instance of person, I think, because we are initializing a new person. We're initializing a student, right? Um, Here we're just setting the fees. If you've been following, you know exactly what's happening. We have the getter and setter methods, and then the string, toString method, which is overriding. Um, Nothing much at all to say about this exercise. I just wanted to do it to, it's just like an introduction to inheritance, but it's like super simple. Um, if you know these things, then you pretty much know how to deal with inheritance. It's that simple. So yeah, I'll just end the video here. Wow, it's crazy how simple it is. Again, I'll just show you guys the code. You just pull this out here and show you guys. Yeah, this is the person class. It's literally this simple. Um, this is a student class. And this is the staff class. Just simple stuff here. And yeah, next video, let's see, what are we going to do in the next video? Are we going to do this one? I don't think so. Mark all overridden methods with the annotation override. So there's method overloading, though, right? Method overloading versus overriding. Let's just look at this really quick. Okay, so when the method signature, the name and parameters are the same in the superclass and the child class is called overriding. When two or more methods in the same class have the same name but different parameters, it's called overloading. So in this instance, we have point3d constructors get x, set x, get y, set x, set y x. Doesn't look like there's, I guess it would only be the toString method that's basically overriding the parent class's toString method. But at the same time, you can technically say that uh, the toString method of the parent class is overriding um, the string class's toString method. So they're both overriding. So looks like we're going to skip exercise 4.3 because there's nothing new that we haven't used before. Let's look at exercise 4.4. Write the classes as shown in the following class diagram. Mark all the overridden methods with annotation override. So it looks like they're still just trying to show us about overriding methods. Obviously, the toString methods are overriding their own class respectively, their own class that they inherit from respectively, or at least, like I said, the toString method in the parent class is overriding the toString method of the string class. Um, and this one, the subclass is overriding the toString method of its parent, the parent class point. Um, so we have x and y, and we have the constructors. We have get x, speed, move. So I don't see any methods here that are overriding, besides toString methods, which are obvious. Um, yeah, I don't know what they're talking. So I guess we're gonna skip 4.4 as well. Exercise 4.5. Superclass shape in a subclass: circle, rectangle, and square. So I can't remember what the bold means. We might, let's see, UML. We can just search it up. Class diagram, bold letters. We just specify Java. Yeah, so bold, bold italic. Is it italic? It's not italic. It's just bold. Okay. Let's see here. Bold. Class name must be written in bold format. But that's not the class name. Uh, bold methods. Let's see here. I already looked at this one. I don't like Java Point, by the way. Do we have any Geek for Geeks? Geek for Geeks. That's the site I recommend people look at. Bold. There's nothing that mentions bold in here. So I'm kind of confused. Write a superclass called shape as shown in the class diagram. If you guys are wondering why I'm still recording, it's because I'm trying to figure out if we're going to skip certain exercises or not for the next video. Find out which one we're going to start at. Write a superclass called shape, two instance variables, two constructors, getter and setter methods, a toString method that returns a shape with color X, filled. Yeah, I don't override. So I don't see anything that's new in here either. Superclass animal and its subclass. Write the codes for all the classes as shown in the class diagram. Okay, so the bold signifies overriding, I guess. Set width. Is there a set width in here? There is a set width in here. Okay, so there's method overriding here. And again, the difference between method overloading and method overriding, it's pretty much the same thing. It's only that Method overriding is when you're overriding a method from a parent class or another class um, that has the same method name and I think parameters as well. Versus method overloading is when when you have the same method name in the same class multiple times. So it looks like we can skip this one as well because here it's definitely overriding because square extends rectangle and rectangle has the set width as well and the set length. It also has the two-string method, obviously. So we can skip that one. We have exercise 4.6, which has more method overriding, uh, and it's like the most simple one. And then all these classes just extend, and the two-string method for each class. um, so it looks like we're gonna skip all of the exercises of the category 4, which is a good relief because I just want to move on to the next thing that we haven't learned or whatever, right? Um, there's nothing new in all of these, which is kind of uh, fine with me. I mean, I just want to learn new things, right? And most of these things I already learned in school, anyways. Just like refreshing my memory and keeping up to date. So, exercise for 5.2. So now we're in the okay, here. Now we're in the exercises 5. So, exercises on composition versus inheritance. Okay, one second.
Okay.
So let me just minimize the IDE here. We're still looking at to see if in exercise 5 there's anything
Why these
new
rats so tough
to
for me?
learn. Let me just also close the stream I was watching on my computer. Okay, so um, they are two ways. They are two ways to reuse a class. So I think there are is what you're trying to say. Two ways to reuse a class in your applications: composition and inheritance. So what they're trying to say is when you create a class, for example, animal, they're speaking about ways to reuse a class in another class, for example, or somewhere else, right? So it would be in another class, right? So you have the parent class and you have mammal, which extends the parent class, so it's reusing the class. Um, that's inheritance. And then there's composition. What was composition again? Java composition. Composition in Java between two objects associated with each other exists when there is a strong relationship between one class and another. Right. So aggregation or has composition. Has a is a. Let's begin with composition with the statement a line composes of 2 points. So one cannot exist with the other, right? So a line cannot exist without 2 points, right? Um, complete the definition of the following two classes: point and line. The class line composes two instances of class point, representing the beginning and ending of the line. Also write test classes of point and line, says test point and test line. So here we have a class point. We have the instance variables that are not initialized. Um, and then and access modifiers are private. Okay. We have the constructor, which is a parameterized constructor. Um, toString method, which overrides the string class's toString method. Okay, we know that. We know all the getter and setter methods. Okay. We have a test point class, test class, and we have the line class. A line composes of 2 points. Here's the point. Private point begin. So here's where it uses the other class, right? We have a instance variable of type point, which is of type another class, right? Begin and end. So basically they're saying that a line has 2 points, right? It has the beginning and the end. Those are the two. So a line has 2 instances of point class, is what they're saying. And here the constructor takes 2 instances of point class. Here the other constructor, parameterized constructor, creates 2 instances of the point class with their own respective x and y um, uh, values, right? There's a begin which has an x and y value and an end which has an x and y value for the point, right? And then we have the getter and setter methods that we are all very familiar with. So nothing new here. Um, just remembering what composition means. Um, so composition, this is aggregation, right? If I remember correctly, it's the hollow, let's see, Java, what is it called again? Composition. Composition, association, aggregation, composition. Composition is a design technique in Java to implement a has a relationship, right? So it's Java relationship. So composition is one relationship, right? And again, I always recommend Geek for Geeks when you're looking for information, at least for Java. Based on my own experience, it's a good site. I always like to mention it. Relationship in Java means different relations, okay. Is a relationship is whenever one class inherits from another, so inheritance, and has a is whenever an instance of one class is using another, it is called a has a relationship. Uh, advantage of is a relationship, code reusability, reduce redundancy, and I think it's just UML class diagram. Yeah, so we can see. So we have here. So composition is actually the one that's a diamond that is. How can I say it? It's a full diamond, right? And then the aggregation is a hollow diamond. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video here because it's going too far here in my opinion. In the next video, we'll just look into what we're gonna start. So see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.